Things don't start.
And we're live!
Things don't start automatically again, and my head's kind of cut off. Where's my
oh yeah, that was
there
mad.
we go.
That was the mad height stool.
Short people.
Why don't you sit up straight?
Later on what drives me crazy. Anyway.
We'll get to that section later, don't worry. Now, welcome to Live at Epiphan.
Yes.
It's Thursday at 3 o'clock. Welcome back to your favorite live show on YouTube that covers Epiphan product news. Broadcasted from Epiphan in Ottawa.
Yes.
Your favorite one out of all the different options that you have.
Of all the Epiphan, How many beards today, too?
2 beards.
Sorry, I'm looking at chat here, and people are already excited about our beards. Cameron just got his trimmed in much disappointment, though. So, we'll see.
Trying to keep the birds out of there and stuff. Trying to get birds and insects.
Yeah, exactly.
But what are we talking about today?
Well, this is episode 105, and today we have an interesting topic that some people are already throwing into chat with some interesting stuff, where we're talking about secure live streaming and all the various components to that. So that's actually a pretty big topic that we're going to try to unpack for you. And
I love that. I love that term. By the way, it's a very popular term. We're going to take that. We're going to unpack it.
Unpack that.
We're going to pull all the stuff out of the box.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at it, put it back in the box.
Yeah.
Repack stuff.
Exactly. But first.
Well,
look.
Actually, hold on.
There's a few guys in chat that we're going to say hi to first.
Yeah, sure. Let's jump on the chat. So
Stefan's in chat. Radonak's in chat. Fixed Assets is in chat. Danny Grizzle's in chat. Tim Trot Productions is in chat. Rudy's in chat. Lots of people there. So we're
now, actually, Tim Trot, I do have an answer for you. I saw your comment on there.
Yeah.
I will send you a letter. You did send us a nice letter in the mail, so I'm going to return your answers, the questions, via mail. And then I think we'd like to have you on the show via mail as well. We haven't figured out how we're going to do that one.
Well, we just hold up the letter.
Yeah, you would hold the letter. Or you could send us like a file on USB. We'll have some fun with it.
Tim said earlier before we started the show, saying, George, were you going to email me something? No, a George was not. A Cameron was.
That's right.
So he owes you that, and apologize. He'll get on that.
I'm actually in the process of legally changing my name to George, so that we can have the 3G.
Extra.
Yeah, the 3G.
3G's kind of slow, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
Enough of the terrible jokes. So, Faithful Mess also in chat. So there's some great
Got some heavy hitters in the chat today.
Fixed Assets. What's playing in the background? I have no idea what that is.
That's a Pearl Mini.
Yeah. So
this is actually a video that we prepared for ISE.
Oh,
and now we have last week's title on there.
Oh, perfect. It's a digital billboard. Who knows what's up there?
Good answer. I like your answer more.
So let's get into the news.
The news. And away we go.
So actually this week was pretty interesting. But first we'll cover off our own personal news. Of course, we have NAB coming up very soon.
That's right.
To the point where I'm starting to panic a little.
It's one episode away. So we have one episode left
before NAB. We're both leaving on Saturday the 6th.
That's right.
And then we're going to be in Vegas for the week. Hopefully the weather's going to be good. We'll see.
It'll be windy.
And it always is in April. Yeah, not that hot, but warmer.
Palm trees are just going to be flying everywhere.
And of course, anyone who's going to be at NAB, please stop by the booth and say hi to Cameron and I. And of course, our contest winner, Zoe, will be there around the show as well. So we're looking forward to teaming up with her to create some cool stuff. So that's going to be awesome.
I'll be kind of in and out of the booth. I'll be exploring around. I'm going to get the Amex before I leave, so I'm going to grab that from Ann. So I'll just be throwing money at everything. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't think that'll work.
Attending some sessions. I'll also be hiding some Webcaster X2s around the floor. Yeah, around the show.
And people are just going to stumble across?
Well, they're going to stumble across it. Maybe someone will say like, hey, security, there's unattended package.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to go well. It's not going to go well.
But no, I'll be with the Webcaster X2. We'll throw some comments onto our social channel. So please keep an eye out. If you are at NAB, watch our socials. You might be able to find me. You might be able to find a Webcaster X2, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Now we do have our video contest as well.
We do, which is nothing for you guys to win. It's all about us.
Yeah, it's all about us. So get in your votes. Tell 600 of your friends on YouTube to vote yes.
Click a like button. It's really easy.
Yeah, currently we're trailing about, I think it was about 500 votes.
Okay, so we need about 500 people to step up.
Exactly, and we're not, we're better than doing a bot farm thing. We were going to do like a Ukrainian thumbs up farm, but you know what? We're better than that. We're not going to stoop to that level.
No.
So, and we also couldn't find one.
I didn't want to pay for it.
We didn't want to pay for it.
So that's an easy one. We'll put the video link in the chat. All you don't even have to watch the video. Just go there and click the like button. It's the easiest thing in the world. You can watch it if you insist, but you can also just click the like button. So give it a thumbs up, especially if you're watching the show. If you haven't done so already, always give us a like and the thumbs up and the subscribes and the things and the stuff. Yeah. Another piece that we're going to be talking a lot more about at NAB is a firmware release coming for our Pearl products shortly after NAB.
That's correct.
And that's going to be version 4.8. And it's going to contain some stuff we talked about in the past couple of weeks on the show, including NDI for Pearl 2.
Our Pearl 2 product will have NDI.
The Pearl Mini will be getting IP camera support over RTSP and webcam support through USB.
Yeah.
And that's something a lot of people have been asking for on the Mini. So for all you Mini owners out there, you're going to get that extra possibility with USB camera support. A lot of our partners, especially our Canadian partners, when I told them that, were just like over the moon. So I think a lot of people are going to find some cool ways to use that. So we're looking forward to that release. Industry news.
Yeah.
I didn't actually watch any of this because Tim Apple doesn't hold my attention. But
Mr. Tim Apple?
Mr. Tim Apple doesn't hold my attention.
We're going to do an apology from last week. We talked about that now or not.
But Apple did announce a whole bunch of stuff this week.
Everything. They announced all of it.
Yeah,
all the things.
All the things.
They're going to be broadcasting from your bathtub, basically.
Right.
You're going to
Basically.
You can get every channel, every network.
What did they do? Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, the Apple Credit Card.
That's right.
And Apple News Plus. So probably the biggest one, most interesting one here is actually Apple TV Plus. Not only is Apple TV as an application going to work on iOS devices and Apple TV devices, but they're also expanding it to some smart TVs, starting with Samsung, Roku devices, Amazon Fire devices.
And Amazon too? I thought they were,
with Fire.
It's the other big guy.
The other G company anyway. But it's interesting because they also, with this announcement, signed up a ton of content creators, like real ones, not YouTube superstars like us, but like legit ones, like J.J. Abrams, Oprah, Spielberg. Like
I would concede that they're real
actual celebrities have signed on to create original content for this Apple TV Plus network.
That's very cool.
So it'd be interesting to see how that goes. Some people have been touting this as the real competition to Netflix that no one else has been able to accomplish. We'll see. The Apple Arcade, it's video game streaming by subscription, essentially. They're just trying to go up against a subject you guys covered last week with Google Stadia. That's all it is, although I didn't see any mention about custom controllers, which Google will have, so I think that gives Google the leg up there.
And a quick correction from last week, we did call Google Stadia a VR platform. That's not correct. It's going to be more of a 2D setup.
Exactly. But
it's all new to us. So
works in anything running Chrome, though. That's
exactly. So
including
on your watch,
Chromecast,
on your phone,
which is
on
cool.
your TV. It's very cool.
The credit card. This is the silliest one, but also the most interesting technologically.
Cool.
Basically, they're launching a credit card, no fee, no late charges or all kinds of stuff, but you can get a physical titanium card that has no numbers, no CVN on it.
It's very cool. Is it embossed? Do you like my graphic?
Yeah.
Is it embossed?
That's straight from the movie?
Yeah, straight from the movie. Yeah, we're not streaming in Europe. So we might
more
actually
on that later. Anyway, so there's some interesting stuff there, and some people are hypothesizing this may lead to more traditional credit card companies going the zero number route. Essentially, everything actually goes through your phone.
Well, one of the notes I saw from the keynote, or just like general ingestion on it, was that it's for when your Apple Pay doesn't work on your phone, but you can use a credit card. So now we've come full circle where they were disrupting plastic cards with the app, and then realized that not everyone's going to support that. So you're going to look like a noodle when you come up with your phone, and is it going to work on my watch? And then
well, this also reminds me the whole metal credit card thing. Did you watch the Fire Festival doc?
Totally.
It reminds me of that.
Are they going to have like a trendy New York loft that we can hang out in with all the other Apple fanboys?
Well, it's called the Apple Store.
Oh, yeah. I can already hang out there for free, though.
Same difference. And then I guess the big news this week, and this might be interesting to our European viewers, looking at you, Stefan.
Yeah, Stefan, this one's for you, buddy.
The European Parliament, your EU Parliament, passed some terrible, terrible articles this week, Article 11 and Article 13, although renamed to Article 17 after they passed. Anyway,
because the 13 wasn't a good number, I guess.
Yes,
right?
also known as Article 13, the ban on memes.
The meme killer.
And this is where things get a little dicey. And as someone who is a big proponent of net neutrality, personally, this really grinds my gears. It bugs me, and I think everyone in Europe should be up in arms about this.
Yeah.
So to make sure that we drive the point home, we're using some memes today.
That's right. We are blatantly just ripping off a whole bunch of content.
For those who don't know, what is Article 13? Well, first, it's a very vague piece of legislation that is annoying because it's vague. But essentially, and I'm going to have to actually read from a sheet here because I have a whole sheet of notes here. Article 13, and this is actually me. I'm also breaking another article in this by doing this, but...
well, you can't read the article online as part of the article?
Well, I don't know. Article 11, link tax part, we'll get to that in a second. So I actually stole a lot of this from Wired's article on it.
Gotcha.
The reason this article has been dubbed the meme ban, which is hilarious, the meme ban, is no one is sure whether memes, which are often based on copyrighted images, will fall afoul of these new laws. Proponents of the legislation argue that memes are protected by parodies and so aren't required to be removed under this directive, but others say the filters don't know the difference. So coming back to that for a second, Article 13 specifies that big platforms will have to have automated filters to prevent any copyrighted material from ever hitting the platform.
Yeah, so this is not reactionary like we currently have.
Right, it's not content ID like we talked about in an episode way back. This is, it never even gets there for content ID to flag. It's just blocked from upload, period.
So you go to upload it, and then you'll probably get this progress bar. Your meme is, or your content is being checked for Article 13 compliance.
Exactly, and then blocked automatically. Blah, blah, blah. So since bots can't tell the difference between parody and not, because machines don't have a sense of humor.
Not yet.
You know, it essentially, potentially bans all memes. This we're using right now, this would technically be a copyright of Seth MacFarlane and Family Guy. But we're going to use it because, you know.
Because it really grinds my gears.
Down with the man. So the other part in here is also, you know, people getting caught in the crossfire. No one can agree on how these platforms are expected to identify and remove this content. An earlier version of the directive referred to proportionate content recognition technologies, whatever the hell that means, which sounds an awful lot like asking platform owners to use automated filters to scan every piece of uploaded content and stop anything that might violate the copyright from being uploaded. It's insane.
So basically no more memes in Europe.
Right.
It'll just be
some of the other subparts to that, though, is this includes video, images, and then there's another part with text as well as part of Article 11, which I'll get to in a second. The difficult part is if you are someone like millions of people, you go to see a concert and you take a 10, 15-second clip of your favorite band playing at this concert all of a sudden, and you want to upload that to Facebook for your friends to see or to YouTube. No, that'll be banned because that's copyrighted material. You will not be allowed to upload that to any platform that is large enough to have these automated rules, which Facebook and YouTube, of course, Twitter, they all will be, Instagram, they all will be.
Well, that's good because I'm always annoyed when that one guy has his phone up and he's like streaming the whole concert. Like, are you going to watch it later?
Exactly. But then it gets worse, in my opinion, with Article 11, which is the link tax. And this is something we've battled with in Canada a little bit as well. Article intends to get news aggregator sites like Google News to pay publishers for using snippets of their articles on their platforms. Now I'm reading this instead of pasting it, but if I put this into the description of our video, I would be violating Article 11. Press publications may obtain fair and proportionate remuneration for the digital use of their press publications by information society service providers. That's a sentence they wrote in the law. Basically, it means that if you use a piece of text and share it as a news aggregator site, you have to pay the original writer a fee, a royalty.
And we don't know what those fees are going to be or how the structure is going to work.
Or how to pay them.
Send them a check?
In addition to that, the scary part is, let's say you're a social media influencer. You're self-employed, you make money from social media, right? That's your only job. You do that. You use a piece of text from a news article. Well, you're a business. You now that, even though it's commentary,
and even if I was
it's
to
fair
share,
use.
you share that link, and then it brings in like the first paragraph into your post. It'll just automatically pop that paragraph in, and now you're liable.
So it's pretty. This is actually pretty scary stuff. Yes,
Britain
and then
can't
there
get
is
out of there quick enough.
right, and then on top of Article 13, the meme ban part, there is Article 12A, which is the stuff that really refers to a number of things. Article 12A might stop anyone who isn't the official organizer of a sports match from posting any videos or photos of that match.
Wow.
Listen, we're Canadian. We all go to the hockey game and post a picture of the ice at the beginning of the match.
Get a picture of your pocket dog and your beer.
In this scenario, no dice. So this is insane. This is actually completely insane legislation. Stefan's ranting in chat about it as well. Luckily, I have my profanity filter on. I don't actually. I know he's censoring himself. But
I'd say Stefan isn't a swearing kind of guy.
The scary part about this is that millions upon millions of European citizens signed petitions to stop this stuff from going into law. And the EU Parliament basically just flipped them off and said, too bad, so sad, we're doing it anyways.
Petition? What petition?
Exactly.
Oh, so that's cute.
It's frustrating, and it is a very dangerous precedent for copyright and net neutrality and fair use of the internet. So that's my rant and grinding gears because I don't know. I feel bad, Stefan. I feel bad for you, man. Like, I don't know.
It does open a lot of opportunities for future meme law offices, right? So you could specialize in meme law.
Meme law, yeah.
Right?
I'll take that.
You could be online. No, I'm meme law. I got out of family law. I'm into meme law now.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to try and calm down here by drinking my non-sponsored root beer.
All right. Well, let's flip back over to the.
So you had to cover that
because
that's a copyrighted logo.
I have actually had to cover A&W logos before.
And that's my rant, and so I'm getting rid of that.
And it was a pain. So if you're just joining us, or if you got ranted out and you forgot why you're here,
you missed it.
We are talking about securing your live stream. Now, obviously, security is so big right now. I think
it's major.
As talking about this show, I think the worst thing that could possibly happen to us right now
is someone to hijack a stream.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen, right?
No,
like,
I've never seen that happen.
Nobody can. Whoa!
Whoa!
What's up? This is the new Live at Epiphan show. Those fools did not see this coming.
Who was that? Who was that joker? Did we just get hacked?
Wow! I think we just got hacked.
Wow.
I think Lisa was quick on the punch to regain control here, but
Lisa maybe like recycled our stream key or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like that was. That was pretty intense. I hope that doesn't happen again towards the end of the episode.
Yeah, I hope not. That guy is scary.
That was pretty scary.
But in all seriousness, that's not the type of security we're talking about.
No.
Because what happened there was someone hijacking the stream by happening to know the stream key for our YouTube channel. What we're really talking about and focusing on today is the actual connection. That's a biased opinion.
Oh, that's my wife.
I was going to put that one out.
We're actually talking about the secure transmission of the data itself. So from you to the server and making sure that that connection is, that session is secure. That's right. So we actually tried to find a cool graphic for this and we couldn't find one we were happy with. But many of you may remember pneumatic tubes for moving little pods with notes or money in them. Stores used to use them all the time. That's basically the internet.
Yeah.
There's a packet of data and it goes through a tube from one place to another. But imagine if someone in the middle cut a hole in that tube and could grab those packets along the way.
Just pull them right out of there.
Manipulate them, put them back in, or just take them. That's what can happen.
Could you take them, and then does that take a copy of the packet, and then the other packets keep, like, the original packet keeps going,
yeah, essentially,
take this clone of the packet out?
Exactly. Essentially, you can eavesdrop on the transmission of that data, right? The internet is just a series of tubes and packets. That's all it is. And if someone can eavesdrop on that transmission, who knows what sort of nefarious ideas they have, right? And that's not a good thing, especially if you are an enterprise or maybe a healthcare professional, a hospital, a government who's trying to keep certain information secure. So securing your stream is critically important. And
So let's get back to actually why we kind of kicked off this episode. So one of the reasons why we decided to talk about this topic this week is because Facebook is officially switching to RTMPs.
You had to read that.
I didn't have to read it. I had to read it.
Acronyms are fun.
RTPMS for all integrated streaming devices.
Yes.
So this is going to affect one of ours. It'll affect a lot of other products that are out in the market.
Yeah.
They're going to be doing it on April 1st, which is like the worst day to do anything.
Because no one believes you.
Because it's April 1st. Like, how about April 2nd or March 29th
so
or whatever?
We've mentioned in previous shows that the update for the Webcaster X2 is absolutely critical for Facebook going forward because of this.
Only if you want to continue streaming to Facebook.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do that, then you don't need the
No problem. But they're switching to it for that. They very likely eventually will switch to it for everything. In fact, I've heard rumors some regions already have for even custom RTMP. At some point, it's inevitable that YouTube will probably do the same thing. Many other platforms already have it as an option or a requirement.
Well, and it's just smart, right? It's just the smart way to go. That way, you're ensuring that security. It's right at that CDN level.
Yeah.
So it is a good way to go on there.
Yeah. So, but basically, RTMPs, or the secure version of RTMP, is RTMP over SSL. Much like HTTPS, for those who are familiar with that. The majority of websites that have any sort of login these days use HTTPS. This is the same idea. You're using an SSL certificate, a token, a two-way communication to agree to secure the session, encrypt it, and make sure that anyone eavesdropping, they might take those packets, but they're never going to know what's in them.
Totally. And we can't, but our hacker friend in the back room, he wouldn't be able to spoof YouTube and trick you into sending that data, or Facebook Live rather, into sending that data to the spoof site. You think I'm streaming to this spot, but you're actually not, because it's not secure. The security, the certificates aren't there. That handshake isn't going back and forth.
Exactly. So it is important, and there are other stream technologies that people haven't really adopted yet that offer similar levels of security. But RTMPs is a great start because it's still a common protocol that's very easy to implement and use. So this is important. Again, is it important for your average blogger who's doing a whatever show, or honestly, even for this show, is it that important? No, honestly, it isn't. But if, again, coming back to it, if this is a government agency or a hospital or a major enterprise, everyone...
If you're charging money for a service.
Right, but everyone is doing live streaming these days. Everyone, at all levels of everything. And they want to make sure this stuff is secure. Even if it's between offices where maybe you're just sending to an internally hosted service, you're not even using a Facebook or a YouTube. You want to make sure you're using RTMPs to secure that link and that session to make sure that no one's trying to steal your data.
Totally. And if, for example, if you're having a town hall, right? Like I used to work for a big airline out west, and we would often, NestJet. Let's just call them NestJet. So we would have these huge town halls, and there'd be a lot of kind of sensitive information that was shared at these events. We weren't allowed to stream it personally. You couldn't record it. You're allowed to take notes, but those wouldn't go anywhere. So imagine having that one. It's being distributed all these bases, and now someone's pulling that in. They're getting this insider knowledge.
Exactly. There's confidential financial information being discussed.
New routes are being proposed.
Exactly. Exactly. So there's a lot of things that you want to make sure is secure at all levels, and so this move, as I'm sure everyone is aware. Facebook's been under the microscope when it comes to security and things like that. And
security
so this
is so hot right now.
Exactly. So this is a major step in that. The Pearl family of products already supported RTMPs. They have for a little while now, when we added additional enterprise level security like 802.1x and HTTPS and RTMPs and all these other things.
And was that driven by customer requests, or was that just getting ahead of the... Okay.
Well, it was both, but
trying to get ahead of the curve. And
exactly.
Because I remember there was a few individuals that were asking us to develop that technology.
They were mostly asking for the other parts, like 802.1x.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. But then, of course, with Facebook making this move, in order for webcasters to continue to function, there was no option but for us to add that there. So we've done that. So anyone, make sure you're up to date, and you'll be fine. So I'll admit there was a lot of yelling back and forth here in the chat that I've been pretty much ignoring because that's just chaos, guys. Jeez.
Right, we're at the point where I need a chat guy. Just have
exactly.
someone monitoring the chat 100%.
So if anyone has any questions or comments about RTMPs and the security of streams, please throw that in chat and we'll take a look. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of a big deal. It's kind of important. It's still not going to protect you from our hacker-style guy.
That's right.
Who gets a hold of your stream key. That basically goes into the bin of what I would call physical security to a degree, where if you accidentally share your screen and it happened to have your stream key on it, and someone was able to quickly write that down, they could still hijack your stream. That's still going to happen. That's just you making sure you're not sending out information.
Exactly. And that goes right down to even, hiding your PIN number when you're putting it in, right? It's that kind of physical security. If you were on like a public Wi-Fi, use a VPN, that way you can mask those kinds of details. And having that security, you could be on that public Wi-Fi now and have that handshake, you don't have to worry about it.
So Fixed Assets was saying, what does RTMPs stand for? RTMP stands for Real-Time Messaging Protocol. The S means secure. The actual breakdown of it is RTMP over TLS SSL is what it actually breaks down to.
Were you writing that down, Fixed Assets?
Yeah. So hopefully I said that quick enough that it sounded super smart and no one's going to question me on it.
Yeah, exactly. Not like they can rewind this.
Yeah, exactly. So Stefan was also asking, how do you secure such a stream or control who watches it or get authorization to watch the stream?
You don't have to, right?
Well, that becomes a function of the redistribution of the stream.
Yeah.
So from the viewer side, if it's, let's say it's Facebook, for example, if you're streaming to a closed group, then only obviously the members of that group are going to be able to see that. If you're streaming to just your timeline, but you set the security permissions to friends only, right, then it's secure. If you're using YouTube, unlisted is about as good as you can get.
You can stream to a private
and
group as
add
well.
people, but I find it's super buggy and doesn't work very well.
Yeah, we often see questions about the private groups.
Yeah,
and
I
then
find
if
it
you're
really
like
buggy.
using an account that's only associated with that one.
Whatever email you
one.
add as an authorized viewer, they have to log into YouTube using that.
Yeah.
So I find it doesn't work very well for many people.
Well, and there's CDN walls as well.
Exactly.
Right?
So Vimeo, you can put paywalls and passwords on things. A lot of the paid CDNs will have password level security, user level security to put a barrier up. So to answer your question, Stefan, with social media platforms, very limited tool set. But if you're paying for a full-featured CDN like a Streamshark or a Vimeo or whatever, they're going to have extra tools in there for you to control access to the stream.
Yeah. And my expectation for Facebook, it's an open platform, it's an open conversation. I wouldn't expect that any live video content on there would be restricted by a user. Right? It kind of goes against the nature of the whole platform itself. But you do have to have a login to get into Facebook, so you have to be associated with that in some way. And I imagine kind of the way the world's been working, we're probably going to see more even authentication when it comes to those user programs or user accounts, so that you can't just make a fake account for Facebook.
Right. Well, again, Facebook uses HTTPS, right? So you know that your session is it's the same idea. It's using that SSL session to make sure that that one session is secure. It's the same idea with RTMPs. It's the same idea. It's literally the same. It's just a different type of data we're putting into those packets and throwing down the tube.
And further to Stefan's question, this is really not the end user's concern as much as it is for integrators.
It's the creator's concern, for sure. The end user is generally going to be consuming it in a web browser, accessing a site secured with HTTPS.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a two-sided equation there. The up to the middleman and then the back out to the viewer is where we're trying to make sure that those pieces are secure. I don't know what's going on with all these log home comments in here, Marta, but
log homes. Do you remember the log home incident?
Yeah, I do now. Yes.
And that was that was like an accidental hack.
Of our own doing.
Of our own show.
Yeah.
So Marta and Phil, they are our cohorts, or what's that? They're our collusion. We collude with them down in Palo Alto. But they're our partners down in Palo Alto. They're part of the marketing team, and they were doing a live show, and it was going great, really well. And then all of a sudden, log home. And it was like this ad for a log home. It was this really weird layout. Of course, like we were scrambling. We're on Skype, like log homes. What's happening?
Exactly.
And Martin and Phil, because they were on the show, they weren't monitoring Skype chat,
Right.
so they went on for a while with this log home thing on. Finally, they were able. I think they closed it. We started a new stream, for like right from scratch. And looking back at it, it was just someone doing some testing on some layouts. It was quite innocent, but it could happen. Right?
Absolutely.
It's not going to happen randomly. I don't think there's bajillions of combinations for these keys.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
if you were to share it, if you were to copy it in the wrong field, someone grabs it.
Yeah.
They could interrupt it that way.
So Stefan had another question there. Can I run it via your own website? Are there libraries for hosting, self-hosting available? Blah blah blah. I assume you mean a live stream. In theory, yes, but. Pretty much no one does anymore. In the modern age of the internet, the requirement to host a live stream directly requires so much bandwidth that unless you have a server node sitting in a data center somewhere, it's completely impractical and makes no sense, and would be extremely expensive to do it. Unless you have like one viewer or maybe two viewers, there's no way you're doing this out of your home.
Could you do it like, and further to Stefan's question, could you do that if you were a private enterprise?
Yeah,
and
that's
you're just
different.
streaming to people on your network?
I mean, if you have
building?
gigabit fiber as an internet connection, yeah, you're going to be able to do a little more.
Cool.
But
even just to do it internally.
Internally, again,
doesn't leave the building.
Exactly. That's a different scenario.
Yeah.
You can self-host a CDN, a content delivery network server, on your own network using technologies and server platforms like Wowza and Akamai and a few others. They're great. Those companies typically also have cloud-based solutions, like Wowza Cloud does. Streamshark are one of our partners. They're using Amazon, as many service providers do now, because those data centers are basically the best in the world.
It's like Amazon is taking over the world.
Exactly.
Right?
So their ability to host, I mean, whether you like shopping on Amazon or not is kind of irrelevant. Their hosting and data center services are top notch, right? Yeah. So pretty much everyone's going to host from that, simply because it's impractical to try and self-host using a cloud-based service. But that's the beauty of social media, right? Especially if you want to post something to your own website. Honestly, the best, most effective, cost-effective way to do it is go to YouTube and embed the YouTube player in your website. Free.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to go. Let's see. Stefan was just saying again, any experience with the GH2? No, we only started playing with the GH series with the GH4. Because the GH2, that's got to be a much older model now. So I don't know anyone who's tried it with the Webcaster, Stefan, so I don't know. The GH4 and GH5 are awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the GH2, I would check. Actually, I know, but they didn't do any live streaming reviews on that one. Would it have like interlaced or progressive? Would that be one of the
Yeah, exactly. It might be an interlaced output, so we'd have to check. The other thing is that some older cameras, or Canon, just simply don't output live.
Yeah, exactly. Or you may have actually, it may have been the GH2 we were using for doing some behind the scenes streaming once.
Okay.
And we couldn't deactivate the overlay.
Yes, that's another problem.
So if you use the HDMI out, then you're going to get that overlay, and you can't actually turn it off. There's no display.
And that's
to turn
not
it off.
ideal.
Yeah, exactly.
But our most recommended stuff from Panasonic is G7, G85, GH4, and GH5. So your cost-effective option of those four is the G7 if you can find one in good condition. Used, you could probably get one very inexpensive, and it's fantastic.
Did you promote that one again? Oh, I got written over.
Okay.
This is like we have like
Danny
three
was saying
things.
GH3
I try to promote one.
Is that Danny? Is that a question or a statement? Because I have not tried a GH3 myself. Again, the only one we've had in our lab to play with is the GH4 and the GH5.
That was clearly a statement. There's a period at the end of the sentence.
This is the internet, man. There's no grammar.
Danny Grizzle doesn't mess around with
All
punctuation.
right. I'll take your word for it.
Danny Grizzle. Wasn't
right.
me. Okay. What was that about the log streams from Danny? He said it wasn't you. We didn't say it was, but now I'm suspicious because that's what guilty people
But he
often do is they say
streams
they didn't do
log
it.
home content from a Mini. Interesting.
What was the name of the log home thing? That was
I don't remember. That was quite a while ago.
Woody's Log Homes?
Yeah.
Something like that? I
Anyway.
can't remember what it was.
So hopefully that's answered everyone's questions about the impact of what Facebook's doing and the benefits of it and the importance of it. Those are some of the possibilities. Stefan, the low-cost camcorder, the mic
Lisa's
input.
laughing and making me
I would say look at our list. We have that tested camera list. My personal opinion would be to not look at certain Canon body styles, but maybe that's a whole other conversation for a different time.
Yeah.
That's a whole other grind my gears section.
We could get into that on a whole other episode. And like, I think actually we did just put out a blog post for live streaming cameras.
Yes, we did.
So we will include, thank you, Danny Grizzle, statement.
Statement.
You should have said comma though. Statement, comma.
Yeah, it's the internet. There's no.
We'll get into that. Grammarly is a great app. Please check out Marta's blog post. She got into what the best cameras are for live streaming. She goes down a whole lot of features. Lisa put in all these tables. There's a lot of formatting on that.
There's a lot of data in there.
Yeah, please check it out. There's a lot of great data that Marta had gone through.
Yeah, and I threw a few tidbits in there to clarify some stuff and stuff like that worked. And yeah, it was very well done by Marta to put that together. The only thing we didn't put in there is my ranting about certain Canon models.
Totally. And Stefan, of course, if you haven't already, I would encourage you to ask any questions you have about compatibility with the Webcaster on the Webcaster Facebook fan group. Did I say that right?
There's that too. There's the Facebook.
Webcaster X2.
It's the Webcaster X2 group on Facebook. Although myself and some of the other guys and Cameron in support are members of that group, it is not our group. It was started by one of our viewers, and so. It is not an official Epiphan group, so feel free to say whatever you like. We're not going to moderate it, because we don't. It's not ours.
We take no responsibility for the content there.
I will take offense, though.
You will, yeah. Not easily, though.
Oof. So Marta put the link to our camera list stuff there, so feel free to check that out. That probably is due for a little bit of updates as well. It's been a little while since we've added some new stuff to that. So
wowzer. I think you owe Inspector Gadget some money.
I do?
Maybe in the EU.
For what? What did I do?
I think I might have said wowzers. Wowza? Oh, we're talking about Wowza.
Wowza. Wowza is a company.
Wowza?
They are streaming. Yeah, and someone put our link in for the camera blog post as well.
Oh, perfect.
So check that out, guys, if you have camera questions. And of course, you can always quickly jump on our live chat through our website and ask our support team if they have any quick tips on a camera model. Honestly, sometimes just Googling it is your best friend.
Yeah, totally.
There are some other companies out there that make some compatibility lists that I sometimes refer to myself. There's never a one-stop shop, though. You got to mess around and find it. So.
Yeah. And if you find one that works, let us know. If you find one that doesn't work,
yeah,
don't tell us. We don't want to know.
Thanks, Marta. That's great. Yeah.
We should just have a rant. You want to have a blog? You could have a
This is why
blog.
I don't write the blog. If you go back in the history of the blog, some of the early ones I did write them, and Bridget actually banned me because they were just going to turn into rants all the time.
I don't see Bridget around here, so
well,
we can
yeah.
Get George back on the blog. It will be all caps though. That'll be the drawback.
Rage blog.
Be all caps.
All right, I think that's going to do it for today.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thanks everyone for joining us. What's our topic next week?
Well, our topic next week was going to be talking about how to insert advertising into your live stream. I was doing some research on it. It is very challenging, and it's a very limited market right now.
It's one you got to be able to monetize.
Well, yeah, you have to be able to monetize. You have to have a certain amount of subscribers. You have to have a certain amount of concurrent viewers. Have a certain amount of time that you're streaming. So we might just go on and talk about what those restrictions are. You could probably
get super chat faster than you can get ad insertion on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. And that way you can actually
make the
keep the money
straight away,
not 10% of it. But
and more.
We'll see. It might be about that. It might be about something else. Maybe we'll just, give George a camera and he can walk in an alleyway and do a Rick Mercer style rant or something. That could be kind of fun.
We do have some plans for when spring eventually ever comes to Canada to try.
Get over it, fixed assets.
Never.
fixed. How could
I
I get
actually
that
saw
one wrong?
a Caruso post on Reddit
Unsecured
today.
assets?
It was pretty funny.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and totally unrelated
Oh,
to
right
us.
on.
It was just, browsing Reddit. So,
When the guy with the beard gets going.
yeah, thanks,
That's
sister.
funny. That could be a meme. My
exactly.
face when the guy with the
Yeah.
longer beard gets going.
It runs in the family.
There was one other one that I wanted to throw up, and of course now I don't see it.
Of course,
And I can't remember what it was, but that's okay.
That's okay.
All
So,
right. Well,
that's it for us.
It would be terrible at this point if
someone were to
we went
hijack
through
our
this
stream
whole
again.
show,
Jeez, that would be awful.
and someone was to hijack it again.
Yeah, if we suddenly lost control again.
It would be.
That's right, people. We are back with the new Live at Epiphan show. I have my pirate live streaming book for dachshunds. And we are going to make a party now out of this. We got music. You people like music? I've got royalty-free music. I might even play copyrighted music on this version of the show. So you're going to like this way better than all those fools out there trying to do their legit show. This is the underground black market show. Let's turn off the music. We're just getting started. We're going to be here every week, Thursday at 3 o'clock. I'm going to stay right here, so you can always find me back here. Maybe I'll even invite those guys to come on the pirated version of their own show. Can you imagine that? That's subversive shit, man.